Hello everyone and welcome back to Reddit Taletales. Today we are doing some Am I the Asshole stories where we can listen into and judge and talk about if we think people are the assholes or not. So sit back, relax, and let's just jump straight into it. Am I the asshole for letting my aunt and cousins get arrested? I was born in a poor Catholic community in Southeast Asia where my family is above all else. Growing up, my parents drilled in my head that education will get you a good job and possibly out of poverty. Growing up, cousins will always bully me for being good in school and for being gay. Aunts and uncles will oftentimes mock, embarrass and hit in the head to try and get the gay out of me. They will insult me at every opportunity of dreaming of finishing college and becoming something in life. Back in 2008, at 16 years old in high school, I won a national competition funded by a charity, and the winner will have the opportunity to study abroad. I got accepted to a London university due to my grades. During my college years, I worked 3 part-time jobs to be able to feed myself and send some money back home to my parents. Back in 2010, I met my husband in the bakery that I worked part-time. My husband came from an old French money. During my college years, he oftentimes asked me to move in with him and he will support me financially. I always declined. I want to make it on my own. Eventually, I graduated 2012 and we got married back in 2014. Currently, I, 29 male, and my husband, 37 male, live in France since 2014. Back in 2017, with the help of my husband's family, I'm able to move my parents and 2 brothers here as well. Since then, relatives have been hounding me to do the same for them. Honestly, I don't want to. Behind my back, my parents asked a favour to my mother-in-law to help 2 cousins, 35F and 25F, and aunt, 50F. I'm so upset with my parents, but they argued they are family and we need to help them. June 2019. Cousins and aunt were able to get here and had a hard time getting jobs since none of them were able to finish high school. My mother-in-law and father-in-law hired them to be extra help, mainly with cleaning. I'm against this since I know them and I'm sure they will do something stupid, and I'm not wrong. Items start to disappear in my in-laws' house. This has never been an issue in the past. One rainy November day, I received a call from my mother-in-law. She informed me multiple number of designer handbags and jewellery went missing, and aunt and cousins were missing as well. Police were called and they were arrested in a train station 2 hours outside of Paris with multiple pawn shop receipts, cash and train tickets going to Milan. We are able to collect all the stolen items and my mother-in-law filed lawsuits against them. My mother-in-law is a wonderful woman and my parents are deeply embarrassed and apologise to her multiple times. Relatives are now asking me to talk to her to drop the lawsuits. Honestly, I don't want to, and it's up to the French police. They are now calling me ungrateful and useless since I don't want anything with it. I feel like I'm turning my back to family. I feel horrible about it. Am I the asshole? No, they're the stupid, thieving assholes that decided to rob 2 gracious people that helped them come over and sort them out with work. No. That's all on them. And I think we can move on to the next story. Would I be the asshole if I anonymously report this girl? So, my husband's best friend is getting married in a few months. This is about his fiancée, 29F, who I'll call Mary. Mary is a speech pathologist for an elementary school. They live a few hours away, and while we are visiting one weekend, she was telling us about a student of hers. I say telling when it's more making fun of and laughing. She tells us his name, grade and his disabilities, then she plays us a recording of what I assume should have been a private session, while making fun of this kid and laughing. I told her I wasn't comfortable listening to it, but I got an eye roll and she continued. I know this is probably a violation of that student's privacy. Would I be the asshole if I anonymously reported her to the school district for this? Additional points, not necessarily for judgment but my internal struggles. The main reason I'm struggling is because I do not like this girl, I don't want her to marry our friend, and she doesn't treat him well. We've talked to him about this moving too fast, but it's his first GF and he lost his virginity to her, so he doesn't see how a good relationship should be. They just signed on a $300,000 house, and if she loses her jobs, it could screw them both over. However, I don't want my personal opinion of her to cloud my decision, because whether I like her or not, I think what she did was wrong. Update edit. Spoke to my husband, it has been bothering him just as much and encouraged me to send the email. I did do it anonymously because my husband should not have to lose his best friend over this, but he said that if that ends up happening, so be it, the child needs protection. However, he strongly believes that his best friend would be mad but get over it. Thanks for the encouragement to report it. I think this is what was best for the student. To people saying that I'm just out to ruin her life, that is inaccurate. I don't dislike her as a person. She isn't inherently bad. I just don't think she's a good fit for our friend. She makes him unhappy, but just because of personality and habit differences, but she is not a bad person. I think the issue is that she doesn't understand why it's not okay. I don't think she's trying to be malicious. Well, to start off with, she's breaking all sorts of rules and regulations, recording a conversation with someone who's under the age of 18 to start with. It breaks privacy trust, it breaks all the standings you have as a therapist of whatever you do. Personally, I work as a massage therapist. You cannot talk about, you cannot give the client's name, you cannot say what you did, what you talked about, any of those details, because if that's ever leaked and reported, you lose your job. I mean, it's simple as it's that respect you have for another person as you should have, and you should be aware of the consequences of doing such a thing. And to record, that is just so bad. Like, you just don't do that. And moving on to the next story. So yes, you are the asshole. OP's fiancés. Am I the asshole for telling my sister that my niece's problems using are basically because of her? My sister and her family are going through a very rough patch. My niece had been abusing a certain substance to help her stay awake and cram for exams. My sister and her husband found out about a month ago, and it has been hell. My sister is really mad. She hadn't spoken to my nieces since she found out. She makes her food and drops her off at a rehab program, but she ignores her. My niece has no access to her electronics, but supervised use of the family computer during her online classes. She sent me a mail during those hours and sounded desperate. The thing is, she didn't start to use just because. My sister sadly is what many would call a tiger mom. She is in constant competition with her siblings. When she gets below an A, she gets punished in the same way my sister is punishing her right now, with silence and disappointment. Her siblings have all entered the top colleges in fields like law, medicine, engineering, etc. My sister is really putting fire under my sister's ass. She lets her know which schools are the only acceptable ones to go to, etc. And of course, she is a kid. She's not even 18. It was bound to happen. There are many things more that happened that I won't write in this post. Yesterday, my sister came to my place and she was raging about my niece. She was talking with such contempt and almost hate. She was saying how disappointed she was, how her daughter failed her, how she felt shame for being her mother. And to be honest, I've had it. My sister always does that. She makes mistakes and always finds a way to make other people pay for them. So I told her. I didn't scream, but I was stern. I told her that kids that abuse that kind of substances, it's because they are under such enormous pressure to perform that they can't cope. She asked me if I was implying that it was her fault, and I told her she played a big part in my niece's down spiral, and that her punishing her daughter was with withholding motherly love was a bigger mistake. She lost it, started crying and accused me of hating her. She left, called her mum, who said I had no place, that I can't kick family when they are already on the ground, that my niece's decisions are hers and her fault. I disagree. I don't think I'm the asshole, but maybe my vision is clouded. So, I agree with what you said. I think you said the right thing, and the mother clearly turned it against. It was about her rather than about the issue at how much was the niece or her daughter, and she was complaining all about how her daughter disappointed her rather than talk about how we can help the daughter, how we can support her, give her what she needs. She wasn't looking at her daughter as a daughter, but merely as a thing or a person to fulfill the needs that she always wants, this perfect high-rise family. So I think the mum's the asshole here. I think the brother's good in calling it out. It may not be the right time to have done it, but I think it needed to be done. And yeah, I'm going to cite that the sister is the asshole in the situation, that she should care about the daughter and be trying to do the best for her right now. And we're on to the last story of today. Am I the asshole for purposely getting pregnant while I have a roommate? Okay, title sounds bad, but I didn't want to make it too long. I'm on my phone, so I'll try to make the format as nice as I can. Anyway, there's me, 27 female, my boyfriend, 30 male, and my friend, 23 female. Let's call her Becca. Well, my BF and I have been discussing the possibility of starting a family for about 6 months, before the you-know-what sickness started, when our state went into lockdown. Becca went from full-time employment to part-time and could no longer afford her apartment on her own. So she asked if she could move in with us for a while until she could figure out what to do about her money situation. My BF and I talked it over and both agreed that we wanted to help her out, because she's a good friend and we didn't want to see her go into unnecessary debt, or worse, have an eviction on her record if the worst case scenario happened. I warned her about the fact that my BF and I were talking about having a baby, though, and that our decision wouldn't be hindered by our new living arrangement. She has a room to herself, we have a 2-bedroom apartment. She wasn't thrilled about this, but agreed because it was her best option. Well, we finally decided in July that we're both officially ready to have a baby, and somehow we got lucky because I found out last week that I'm pregnant. I'm so damn excited that I couldn't wait to talk to Becca about it. I know it's early to tell people, but she is currently our roommate and it'll be a change for her too, and oh man, was that a mistake. She was pissed when I told her. She basically said that she's still really stressed and struggling because of her job situation, and now is working 2 jobs, which means that she gets very little time to sleep or relax, and she doesn't want to live with a baby on top of everything else. I told her I'm sorry that she's stressed and I know her situation sucks, but I warned her about this from day one. I understand that I could have told her when we were starting trying, but a lot of people are grossed out by that now. And it's not like she didn't know about our plans. Plus, it's my damn apartment and my life. I don't feel like I should have to put off my own life because I'm helping out a friend. So, am I the asshole for purposely getting pregnant while I have a roommate? And the answer is a resounding no! You're not the asshole! I mean, it's your apartment, your friend was struggling, you helped her out, which is a lovely thing to do. She can find another apartment to rent with another friend of hers. If she can afford to live in it with you, she can find another place. She just doesn't like the change happening to her. She's just pissed off that it's been changed for her, while she understood the situation as she was walking in. She knew what she was getting into, and she should be okay with that, and she needs to chill. It's your place, it's happening, and it sounds like she's putting herself first in this situation where you were very generous and helped her out. And that's all that we have time for today. If you enjoyed, please hit that like button, it means so much to me, and smash that subscribe button, come back for more videos, and leave a comment down below so I can hear any critiques, any advice, anything you want to say. I'll read it and get back to you. And without ado, see you later and goodbye.